Hey folks, what if I told you that the boring looking penny you've probably dropped between your car seats 100 times might actually be worth a jaw-dropping $1.1 million? Yeah, you heard that right, not 100, not 1,000, but over $1 million for a single brown little coin. And not just any coin, we're talking about the 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, the kind you might just ignore at the bottom of your junk drawer. Now I know what you're thinking, wait, what no-mint mark penny from 1994, how is that even rare? Aren't those like super common? Yes, technically they are, but there's a twist and we're gonna dive into all of that. But before we go full national treasure on you, let me tell you a quick little story. So I was at my cousin Mike's garage sale helping him sort through a mountain of change, and he holds up this grimy penny like, hey, think this one's special, and I'm like, nah, it's just a 1994 penny. Toss it back in the karma jar. Well, turns out that little coppery beast had no mint mark, and fast forward to a quick online search, some jaw-dropping market research, and a facepalm of epic proportions. Guess what? Yep, you guessed it, it was one of those ultra-rare pennies now sitting somewhere in a collector's vault, probably being fanned with velvet gloves while I sit here questioning all my life choices. You see, most pennies minted in Philadelphia don't carry a mint mark, and that's totally normal, but every once in a while one of those no mint mark pennies ends up being struck with some kind of error or in a specific condition that collectors go absolutely bonkers for. We're talking errors like off-center strikes, double dice, planchet issues, or even being struck on a completely wrong metal. And when one of these error-riddled pennies slips through the cracks and makes its way into the public's pockets, boom, jackpot. Now let's be clear, the average 1994 penny is worth, well, you guessed it, about 1 cent. Unless you owe your friend interest in soda cans, but this rare one, the $1 million baby, is a unique error coin, possibly struck on a bronze planchet or showcasing a spectacularly crisp double die and in pristine condition like MS68 or above. That's where the magic happens. Only a handful have been confirmed and sold at auction, and the highest verified sale reached a whopping $1.1 million. Imagine buying a burger with that penny and then realizing you could have bought a whole burger joint instead. Talk about painful digestion. Let's take a second to visualize this. You walk into a coin show with a smug grin holding a little coin in a plastic sleeve. Someone offers you a house in cash for it. Yeah, that's the level of crazy we're talking about. And don't worry, we're not gonna get all textbook on you. I'll break it down like this. Spotting one of these coins is like finding a golden ticket in your Willy Wonka chocolate bar, only less sugar and more copper and maybe fewer songs from Oompa Loompa. So how do you know if you've got the money maker? Here's what to look for. Number 1, no mint mark on the front under the date. Number 2, the coin should be in mint condition, like shiny and barely touched, kinda like that one friend who always looks too good in every photo. Number 3, check for weird stuff like doubled letters or design errors. The coin might look like it had too much coffee and tried to print itself twice. And number 4, if you think you've got something special, get it graded by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC, because that's your golden ticket to making the big bucks. And don't worry if you're not a coin expert. I wasn't either when I got into this world. I just liked shiny things and ended up learning more than I ever expected. Now I'm over here checking my change like a hawk every time I leave the grocery store. Let me tell you this, I once tried to pay for parking with a handful of coins and the machine spit them back like it was offended. Turns out one of those coins was a 1994 penny, and I got curious, held it up, and was like, you don't look special, but let me Google you anyway. One deep rabbit hole later, I found myself knee-deep in coin forums watching YouTube videos at 3 a.m. and whispering to my penny like it was a dragon egg. Spoiler alert, it wasn't the $1 million one, but it lit a fire in me, and now I never underestimate any coin again, not even that dusty nickel in my couch cushion. So could your 1994 no mint mark Lincoln penny be worth $1.1 million? Maybe if you've got one with the right kind of error in pristine condition, you could be sitting on a gold mine without even knowing it. Here's the game plan. Check your change. Look closely at your 1994 pennies, especially the ones without a mint mark. Examine them under a light, and if anything looks even remotely weird or spectacular, send it in for grading. And who knows, you might be able to buy that dream car or pay off your student loans with a single copper coin. And hey, if you found this fun, informative, or even just mildly amusing, then hit that subscribe button, tap the like, give it a share, and stick around because I've got tons more videos coming your way all about hidden treasures in your pocket and how to turn spare change into serious cash. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and remember, one man's penny is another man's $1 million lottery ticket, so go check your change already. Okay, real talk. Have you ever dropped a penny and thought, man, not worth bending over for? Yeah. Well, what if I told you that one little penny from 1963, no mint mark, plain old Lincoln staring off into the distance, could be worth a whopping $1.2 million? That's right. $1.2 million. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we talk coins, cash, and collecting like it's a hidden treasure hunt. I'm your name, and today we're diving deep into a coin you probably have overlooked 1,000 times, the 1963 no mint mark Lincoln penny. I know, it sounds like something your grandpa might have in a jar somewhere. But guess what? That jar could be a jackpot. Stick around, because we're breaking down what makes this penny so valuable, how to know if your penny is the golden ticket, and the hilarious story of the time I accidentally almost gave away a valuable coin at a garage sale. Spoiler alert, my grandma still brings it up at family dinners. We're talking about the one with no mint mark. That means it was struck in Philadelphia, because Philly didn't stamp mint marks on coins back then. So if yours has a D or S under the date, nope, not the $1 million baby. We're talking no mark at all under that 1963. Now, normally a 1963 no mint mark penny is worth, well, a penny. Maybe a few cents if it's in good shape. So why the heck would anyone fork over $1.2 million for one? Sometimes when coins are made, things go sideways. I mean, we've all had bad days at work, right? Imagine the guy operating the coin press in 1963 accidentally uses the wrong metal or double strikes the coin. Boom, you just made a rare error coin. Combine that with a pristine condition and boom, cha-ching, the most valuable 1963 no mint mark penny ever sold had a rare double die error and was graded MS67 red. That's mint speak for so shiny and perfect you can see your future in it. That coin went to auction and dropped jaws when it sold for $1.20 million. Years ago, I was helping my aunt clean out her attic. She had this old cookie tin full of coins, and I, being the coin nerd of the family, offered to sort them. She said, "Keep anything you want." Oh honey, I was like a kid in a candy store. Fast forward, I found a shiny 1963 penny with no mint mark. It looked good. Not auction house good, but nice. I flipped it back into the tin and figured it, maybe 10 cents tops. A week later I'm at a garage sale. I used that penny as part of a 50-cent payment for an old DVD. That night, I saw a YouTube video about rare pennies, and there it was, 1963, no mint mark, double die, worth thousands. My soul left my body. I went back to the sale the next day like a detective in flip-flops, but the lady had no idea what I was talking about. To this day, I may have bought the notebook for $1.2 million, seriously. Dig in the couch cushions, check that piggy bank from when you were a kid. Look for a 1963 penny with no mint mark under the date. Condition matters. If it's scratched up like it went through a lawnmower, it's probably not your ticket to early retirement. But if it's shiny, no visible wear, and that copper color is popping, you might have something special. Look for errors. This is where a magnifying glass comes in handy. Double die errors are the most valuable. You'll notice the letters or date look slightly doubled. If it looks like the coin had a few too many espresso shots and started seeing double, that's a good sign. Get it graded. If you think you have something good, don't just shove it in a sock drawer. Send it to a coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. A high-grade coin can multiply your payday. Literally. Rarity and demand drive value. There aren't a lot of these error coins out there. Which is why collectors go nuts for them when one shows up at auction. The auction was hot. Bidders from all over, mostly wealthy collectors and investors looking for high-value coins. The final coin was almost flawless, had a beautiful red hue, was error-struck, and came with the kind of provenance collectors drool over. That means its history was documented, ownership was traceable, and it was verified by top experts. So yeah, not just a random coin from your sock drawer. But that doesn't mean you can't find one. You'd be surprised how many valuable coins are found in pocket change, estate sales, thrift shops, and even car wash trays. You just have to look, and know what to look for. The humble 1963 no mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin that most people overlook, could actually be your $1 million miracle. We talked about what makes it valuable, how to identify it, and why you should never underestimate your spare change. I even shared my own story of heartbreak and regret, all over one shiny penny. It still stings that if you learned something new today or just had a good laugh at my expense, do me a solid, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss future videos. We're on a mission to uncover all the hidden treasures hiding in your pockets and piggy banks, and hey, next time you see a penny on the ground, pick it up. Who knows? It might just be worth more than your car. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into power moves. Alright, quick question. When was the last time you actually looked at a penny? I mean, really looked at it. Most people see a brown coin and toss it in the change jar or let it collect lint in their car's cup holder, but today I'm gonna blow your mind with one tiny little coin that's been hiding in plain sight. We're talking about the 1991 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Yep, that boring looking little guy could be worth $1,300,000. That's right, $1.3 million for a single penny. So before you go tossing your loose change at the drive-thru, let's dig into the story behind this copper-coated millionaire maker, and I'll even share a wild story about how I almost let one slip through my fingers. Literally, basically, the US Mint puts little letters on coins to show where they were made. P is for Philadelphia, D is for Denver, S is for San Francisco. Now here's the twist: Philadelphia often doesn't put a mint mark on its pennies, so when you see a penny with no letter under the date, it was likely made in Philly. The 1991 no mint mark Lincoln penny we're talking about today is special because of a few crazy rare minting errors and a condition so flawless it looks like it was delivered straight from Abe Lincoln's pocket himself. Some were struck on the wrong planchet, some had doubling errors, and some were made with a level of perfection that coin nerds like me dream about. Okay, let's talk money. And by money I mean why someone would pay over $1 million for a 1-cent coin. So here's the deal: this 1991 penny reached that insane price because of a perfect storm. One, it was a super rare error coin. Either it was double struck or had a unique metal mix to it. Was in mint state, and not just any mint state, we're talking MS68 or higher. That's coin grading lingo for basically perfect 3. It's what collectors call population 1. That means it's the only one known at that grade with that error. So imagine you're the only person in the world who has something. That's what drives collectors wild. That's what drives prices sky high. This particular penny went to auction in BAM. It sold for $1.3 million. Just like that, a penny that was maybe sitting in someone's couch cushion was suddenly worth more than a Tesla. A few years ago, I was digging through some old coin rolls because that's what normal people do on a Friday night, right? And I found this 1991 penny that looked super clean, like fresh out the mint clean. So I tossed it into a plastic flip to get it graded, but then my cousin came over, saw my coin collection, and decided to use that exact flip as a bookmark for his comic book. Next thing I know, I find the penny on the floor under the couch, all scratched up from sliding out the plastic. I nearly cried. Okay, not literally, but my coin dreams were crushed. Lesson learned: always store your coins like you store your grandma's fine china, with respect and zero children or cousins around. So now you're probably thinking, how do I know if I've got one of these goldmine pennies? Next, check the condition. Is it super shiny, sharp detail, no scratches, no dull spots? If it looks like it just left the mint, then you may have a shot. Also check for weird stuff like doubling on the letters or numbers. That's called a double die, and it adds value. If it feels too light or heavy, it might be struck on the wrong metal. Another jackpot scenario. Once you've got one that looks promising, get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. It costs a little, but if it's worth $1 million, it's worth the investment. Trust me, don't care if it's covered in mystery gunk from 1991. Leave it be. Clean coins lose value faster than a pizza in a break room. Also, don't assume every no mint mark penny is rare. Most are just regular old pennies worth, well, a penny. And don't take it to a pawn shop first. Always go to a coin dealer or submit it for grading first. Pawn shops are great for old guitars, not $1 million pennies. Keep your eyes peeled for 1943 copper pennies, 1955 double dies, and 1982 small date copper versions. Coin hunting is like treasure hunting, except instead of a map, you've got a magnifying glass and back pain. So there you have it, folks. The humble little 1991 no mint mark Lincoln penny could literally be your ticket to millionaire status. One man's pocket change is another man's retirement plan. Now go check your piggy bank, your glove box, your old jeans from high school. You never know, that next trip to the laundromat might just fund your next car. And hey, if you enjoyed hanging out and learning about this millionaire penny, do me a huge favor: smash that like button, tap that subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss another coin worth a fortune. We've got more crazy coin facts, tips on spotting valuable ones, and stories that will either make you rich or at least make you laugh. Alright folks, gather round and grab your spare change jar, because today we're diving into one of the wildest coin stories I've ever come across. Imagine this: you're digging through your junk drawer looking for batteries for your TV remote. You pull out some old pennies thinking nothing of it, and boom, right there hiding in plain sight is a little copper coin that could buy you a Lumbo, a beachfront house, and still leave you enough to never touch instant noodles again, unless you just love the flavor. Today we're talking about the 1992 D-Mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin that has quietly climbed its way to the top of the valuable coin charts with a jaw-dropping price tag of $1.4 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.4 million for a penny. Stick around, because I'm gonna break down why this tiny coin is worth so much, what makes it special, how to tell if you've got one, and of course my own embarrassing story about thinking I found it only to get schooled by a 7-year-old kid at a flea market. So first things first, let's talk about what makes the 1992 D Lincoln penny so special. On the surface it looks like any other penny. You've got good old Abe Lincoln looking thoughtful as usual. The date says 1992 and there's a little D right underneath it, which means it was minted in Denver. Cool, nothing out of the ordinary. Right, in 1992 the US Mint accidentally released a very small batch of pennies with something called a close AM design. That's right, we're getting into the sexy world of font spacing. People, hold on to your hats. So normally the words United States of America on the back of the penny have the A and the M and America spaced apart. That's the regular version, but on this rare close AM variety the A and the M are practically touching, like an awkward prom photo of two teens who weren't sure if they were dating yet. Now here's the kicker, most of the close AM varieties were intended for proof coins, you know, the super shiny ones, but somehow a few of those close AM backs snuck into the regular business strike pennies in Denver, and that's how the 1992 D close AM penny was born. So how rare is it? Well, fewer than 20 have been confirmed to exist. That's at 20 in the whole wide world, and collectors are going absolutely bananas for them. In fact, one of these little beauties sold for $1.4 million. That's like if you turned 1 cent into 140 million cents. That's a good investment right there. Now before you run to your sock drawer, let me tell you how to check if you've got the magic penny. Step 1, flip the penny over, look at the words United States of AM or SA. Step 2, look closely at the A and M and AM or SA. Step 3, if the A and M are super close like they're besties at a party, you might just be holding a goldmine disguised as a boring old penny. Of course, condition matters. If your penny looks like it's been run over by a shopping cart at Target, it's probably not gonna fetch $1 million, but if it's in good shape, you're in business. A couple years ago I was at a flea market and this kid, probably 7 years old tops, comes up to my table, sees a stack of old pennies I'm selling and goes, "Do you have any 1992 D close AM pennies?" I chuckled and said, "Do I look like I have $1 million coin laying around?" And this kid, dead serious, goes, "You should check, I found one in my mom's purse." So of course I rush home like a man on a mission. I dump out every penny I have. I even borrowed my neighbor's magnifying glass and started squinting so hard I gave myself a headache. No luck, but now every time I see a 1992 penny I stop whatever I'm doing and check it like I'm Indiana Jones looking for the Holy Grail. Let me tell you, it's become a weird little habit. I've got like a sixth sense for Lincoln pennies now. I even dream about finding one. Sometimes I open the cash drawer at the store and there it is, glowing like something out of a fantasy movie. Now if you're wondering why would anyone pay that much for a penny, it all comes down to rarity, historical significance, and let's be honest, a little bit of collector craziness. These folks are passionate. They want that unicorn coin in their collection and they're willing to drop serious cash to get it. It's the same reason people pay thousands for a misprinted baseball card or a Beanie Baby with the wrong tag. It's rare, it's unique, and it tells a cool story. So if you're someone who's got a jar full of old coins lying around, maybe passed down from your grandparents or just stuff you've never really looked at, now is the time to go full treasure hunter mode. Check those 1992 pennies, look for that Denver Mint mark, look for that close AM, and hey, even if you don't find the $1 million one, you might stumble across some other valuable coins along the way. You'd be surprised how many pennies, nickels, and dimes are worth way more than face value. The 1992 D close AM Lincoln penny is one of those rare freaks of nature that turns everyday pocket change into life-changing money. With only a handful out there and one selling for $1.4 million, this is the kind of story that gets every coin nerd and casual collector buzzing. So if you've got a jar full of coins, it might be time to go diving. You never know what treasures are hiding in plain sight. And remember, even if you don't strike gold, it's fun, it's a little thrill, and who doesn't like a good treasure hunt? It's like the adult version of finding a toy in a cereal box, but way more lucrative if you learned something new or got a chuckle out of this video. Hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. I drop videos every week showing you how to spot valuable coins and turn your spare change into serious cash. So smash that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, and join me on this wild coin collecting journey. You never know what's out there, and it might just be sitting in your pocket right now. Hey there treasure hunters, welcome back to the channel where pocket change might just make you rich and your piggy bank could be your retirement plan. Now listen up, because this video right here might change the way you look at every single penny you've ever tossed on the counter or shoved under your couch cushions. Today we're diving deep into one of the most unexpected and insanely valuable coins floating around out there in the wild, the 1989 No. Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. And get this folks, it's worth up to $1.5 million. That's right, 1 cent turn millionaire maker. No joke. If you're the kind of person who's ever looked at a penny and thought, "Meh, it's just a penny," you might want to go dig through your junk drawer, your wallet, your car cup holders, and maybe even that laundry machine trap, and stick around, because I'm gonna tell you exactly what to look for, what makes this little copper wonder so darn valuable, and I'll even share a slightly embarrassing personal story involving laundry lint, peanut butter, and a lucky coin that changed my entire view on collecting. Trust me, you're gonna love this one, and by the end you'll never look at spare change the same way again. The year is 1989. George Bush Sr. is president. Madonna is on the radio. Everyone's rocking acid wash jeans, and mullets are still socially acceptable. It was a simpler time. My biggest worry back then was making sure my Nintendo Cartridge didn't glitch halfway through Super Mario. Meanwhile at the US Mint, something happened, something rare, something mysterious. Now quick lesson for my newer collectors out there: when we say no mint mark, we mean this coin has no little letter under the date. You know that tiny PD or S you usually see that tells you where the coin was minted, Philly, Denver, or San Francisco. So when a penny from 1989 shows up with no mint mark, people go, that's odd, because Philly mint coins usually do have no mark. But here's the kicker: a certain batch of these no mint mark pennies were struck using an extremely rare die with a unique composition and some striking errors that make them crazy rare and crazy valuable. We're talking off-center strikes, double dies, unusual planchets, and even some experimental compositions meant for testing but accidentally released to the public. Some collectors believe that only a handful of these exist in pristine condition, which is why auction houses have seen them go for over $1.5 million when certified at top grades. Let that sink in. You might have $1 million coin just chilling in your junk drawer behind some paper clips and a sticky note from 2006. And hey, speaking of finding coins in weird places, let me tell you about the time I found one of my first rare pennies totally by accident. So picture this: I'm doing laundry, right? My dryer's making that funky thud sound, so I figure there's probably a sock jammed in there or a rogue skittle bouncing around. I pop open the lint trap and bam, out falls a crusty looking penny, caked in lint and something that smelled suspiciously like peanut butter. Now I'm about to chuck it in the trash, but something about it just feels different. It looked older and the color was a bit off, so I clean it up with some warm water and a toothbrush. Shout out to my ex-toothbrush, and lo and behold, it turns out to be a 1943 steel penny worth a couple $100. That's the day I got hooked. I realized these little copper dudes could actually be gold mines in disguise. So back to the 1989 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Here's what you want to look for if you think you've got the holy grail in your pocket. 3. Examine the coin's condition. If it's super shiny with no scratches, dings, or discoloration, you might be onto something, especially if it has a strong strike with crisp details. 4. Look for errors. This is where it gets spicy. You want things like double dies where the text looks like it has a shadow or letters or overlap. That's a big one. 5. Weigh it. A regular 1989 penny should weigh about 2.5 grams. If yours is lighter or heavier by even a little, that could mean it was struck on the wrong planchet, and those are mega rare. 6. Get it graded. Please don't stick it in a Ziploc baggie and hope for the best. Send it to a certified grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate and assign a value, and that can make all the difference if you're thinking about selling. If your 1989 no mint mark penny has all the right traits and comes back from grading with a near perfect MS68 or higher grade, we're talking serious cash money. And I'm not talking about, oh, that's enough to get a nice dinner. I'm talking quit your job, buy a Tesla, and still have room for a hammock on the beach kind of money. Now let's get real though, not every 1989 penny is worth millions. In fact, most of them are worth well about a penny, but it's those rare few with the right combo of mint error, high grade, and strong collector demand that command those wild prices. And the coolest part is that more of them might still be out there unfound, undiscovered, just waiting to be rescued from some forgotten shoebox or dusty attic. Coin collecting isn't just a hobby anymore, it's like modern day treasure hunting, except instead of a shovel you need good eyes, a magnifying glass, and the patience to stare at tiny dates until your vision blurs. But hey, it's all worth it when your penny turns into a Lumbo down payment. Am I right? That little 1989 no mint mark penny might look like nothing, but it could be a key to financial freedom. And even if you don't find the one, who cares? Searching through coins is fun, it's relaxing, and who knows, you might stumble on a hidden gem along the way. Plus it gives you a great excuse to never throw away change again. Bonus: if you're like me and have a borderline unhealthy relationship with coin jars, examine them for errors, get them weighed, and maybe, just maybe, you'll strike it rich. And hey, if you found this video helpful, entertaining, or just enjoy watching a grown adult nerd out over pennies, make sure you hit that subscribe button, smash it like it's a spider in your bathroom that just scared you, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss another episode of How to Turn Your Pennies into Piles of Cash. Hey there, coin hunters, welcome back to the channel where we talk coins, cash, and the crazy chance you've got a small fortune hiding in your change jar. So today we're diving into a coin that could literally change your life, and I'm not even being dramatic, okay, maybe just a little, but I swear this is wild. We're talking about the humble 1977 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Yeah, that coppery little coin that you probably tossed into your car cup holder last week could be worth up to $1.6 million. Yep. That's 6 zeros after the one. Now I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute, I've got a bunch of those pennies lying around. Are you telling me I could be a millionaire already? And the answer is maybe, just maybe. Stick with me because I'm gonna break down why this penny is so special, what makes it valuable, how to tell if you've got one, and I'll even throw in a ridiculous personal story that involves a metal detector, a squirrel, and a peanut butter sandwich. Trust me, it'll all make sense. And hey, if you're into coins or just like the idea of turning spare change into a treasure chest, make sure you stick around till the end because I've got a few tips that might just help you spot the next $1 million coin in your collection. First of all, the 1977 Lincoln penny with no mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and here's the deal: Philly didn't put mint marks on their coins back then, so finding one without a mint mark Isn't rare by itself what makes this 1977 penny worth $1.6 million. Bucks isn't just the missing mint mark, it's a combo of super rare features plus some mind-blowing errors. We're talking about things like double die obverse, insanely sharp strikes, ultra-high grade condition, and in some cases weird off-center printing or even a transitional metal mix. Basically it's like the coin version of a unicorn wrapped in a four-leaf clover dipped in gold and riding a rainbow. Now let me pause here and say not every 1977 penny is worth that kind of money. If they were, we'd all be millionaires and Jeff Bezos would be hoarding change instead of rockets, but certain 1977 pennies have sold at auction for insane prices because of their rare characteristics. One went for over $1.6 million because it was in pristine condition, had a dramatic double die, and was graded MS-70 by a top grading service. If you're new to the coin world, MS-70 is basically the crown jewel of coin grades. It means the coin is perfect, like not a single flaw visible under magnification. Perfect. That's rarer than finding someone who actually reads the terms and conditions first. Grab a magnifying glass, or even better, one of those nerdy little jeweler's loupes, the kind that makes you look like you know what you're doing even if you're just trying to read tiny letters. Look at the front of the coin where it says "In God We Trust" and "Liberty." If the letters look double like blurry shadows, that's a sign you might have a double die, which is a big deal. Next, check the date itself. 1977 should be clean and sharp. If you see any weird doubling or misalignment, that's another clue. Also, the color matters, deep red copper with no signs of wear is what collectors drool over. If your penny looks like it just rolled off the press, you might want to get it graded. Let me tell you about the time I thought I found a valuable penny and how it ended up with me arguing with a squirrel. So picture this: I'm out in the yard with my metal detector feeling like Indiana Jones of suburban America, and I get a beep. I dig down a few inches and pull out this old crusty penny. My heart skips a beat. I wipe it off and boom, 1977 no mint mark. I'm dancing in the yard like I just won the lottery. Then out of nowhere this squirrel runs up, grabs my sandwich off the picnic table and scurries off into the bushes. Total chaos, but I didn't even care because I thought I had $1 million coin. Turns out it was scratched up and corroded, worth like a penny and a half on a good day. But hey, the excitement was real, and now I double check every coin I get from the grocery store like a total maniac. Back to business though. If you do think you've got a rare 1977 penny, the next step is getting it graded. There are professional grading services like PCGS and NGC that'll examine your coin and give it a rating, and if it scores high and has rare features, then boom, you might be sitting on a serious payday. Also, if you want to check sold listings, look up auctions and online marketplaces. Coins like this don't sell every day, but when they do, it's usually through big auction houses and the collectors go wild. The 1977 no mint mark Lincoln penny can be worth up to $1.6 million, but only if it has some rare errors and is in insanely good condition. Look for doubling, sharp details, off-center strikes, or unusual coloring. Get it graded if you think you've got something special, and maybe keep your lunch away from hungry squirrels while you search. So there you have it, friends. The 1977 no mint mark penny could be your ticket to millionaire. Though, but only if you know what to look for. It just goes to show that treasure isn't always buried deep in the earth. Sometimes it's rattling around in your pocket or hiding between the couch cushions next to a stale Cheeto and a remote you lost in 2013. First, go check your coin stash right now. Pause the video if you have to. I'll wait. Second, if you do find something suspiciously shiny and exciting, drop a comment and let us know. We love hearing your coin hunt stories, and who knows, maybe one of you really is sitting on a goldmine. And finally, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring that little bell icon so you don't miss out on future videos. We've got more guides coming up on valuable coins, how to spot hidden gems, and how to turn your boring old change into some serious cash. Trust me, once you fall into the coin collecting rabbit hole, there's no going back. Hey there, treasure hunters, coin lovers, and curious minds. Welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into potential gold mines. I'm your friendly neighborhood coin nerd, and today we're diving into one seriously underrated coin, the 2005 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Now I know what you're thinking, dude, it's a penny, it's copper, it's been stepped on and stuck in vending machines for years. But hold up, because what if I told you that one of those little brown coins in your junk drawer could be worth up to $17 million. Yeah, you heard that right, 17 million. Let that sink in for us. In today's video, we're talking about the legendary 2005 no mint mark Lincoln penny, why it's worth a fortune, how to spot one, and how I personally almost threw away a coin that could have paid for a beach house and a boat and a lifetime supply of pizza. So grab your coins, your curiosity, and maybe a magnifying glass, because you might be sitting on a tiny copper jackpot. Let's get into it. Alright, let's kick things off with a quick background. The 2005 Lincoln penny features the classic bust of Abraham Lincoln looking all serious like he's about to lecture us on history or freedom, or maybe why you shouldn't chew gum in class. But here's the thing, most 2005 pennies have a mint mark, either a D for Denver or a P for Philadelphia, but the star of today's show is the one with no mint mark, not a zilch, just a naked penny with no letter under the date. So why is the no mint mark version such a big deal? Well, In rare cases, a few coins are accidentally struck at the wrong mint without a mint mark, and that's when things get spicy. In 2005, a very limited number of these no mint mark Lincolns slipped through the cracks, making them incredibly rare, and collectors go absolutely bananas for rare errors like this. Now I know what you're thinking: how do I know if my penny is the magical $17 million one? First off, look for a 2005 penny with absolutely no mint mark under the year. If there's even a whisper of a D or P, you're out of luck, but if it's clean like your grandma's kitchen on a Sunday morning, you might just be holding on to something special. Next, check the condition. The real moneymakers are usually in mint state condition. That means no scratches, no dents, no signs that it's been used as a screwdriver or a cat toy. We're talking shiny AF, like it just came out of a fresh coin roll from the bank. And now here's the juicy part: one of these no mint mark 2005 Lincoln pennies sold at auction recently for a jaw-dropping $17 million. That's enough to buy a mansion, a few Teslas, and still have change left for a lifetime supply of Taco Bell. Alright, story time. So a few years ago, I was cleaning out my car, digging under the seats, finding fries from 2014, and I came across a bunch of pennies stuck to an old receipt. Most of them were the usual suspects, but then I saw this really clean 2005 penny. It looked kinda weird. I didn't think much of it, tossed it in a jar, and forgot about it fast. Forward to last year, I started getting into coin collecting, and I remembered that weird little penny. I dug it out, cleaned it up, and lo and behold, it had no mint mark. I nearly fainted right there in my kitchen. I ran it by a coin dealer, and while it wasn't the $1 million version, it was still worth a few $100. Not bad for something I found under a car seat next to a ketchup packet. So what makes these rare coins so valuable? It's all about rarity, demand, and condition. The fewer that exist, the more collectors are willing to pay, and when collectors compete at auction, things get real wild real fast. Now I know it sounds too good to be true, but people really do strike gold with everyday coins all the time. You just gotta know what to look for. Think of it like treasure hunting, but without the shovels and pirates and awkward conversations with your neighbors about digging up their lawn. If you're wondering where to start, just check your spare change jar, your couch cushions, and that weird drawer in your kitchen where you keep batteries, expired coupons, and twist ties. You never know what could be lurking in there. And if you really want to get serious about this hobby, start learning the terms like mint state, double die, off center strike, and planchet error. I know it sounds like a lot, but trust me, once you start learning this stuff, it's like Pokemon cards, but for adults with slightly more back pain. Alright folks, so let's bring it home. Could a 2005 no mint mark Lincoln penny really be worth $17 million? Absolutely, if you've got the right one in minty fresh condition with that sweet error. It's rare, it's real, and it's already made one lucky collector ridiculously rich. So go check your change, go check your old wallets, go ask your grandma if she's got any pennies in her sewing kit, because you just never know, you might be one penny away from never working another day in your life. And hey, if you learned something new, had a laugh, or now find yourself staring at your coin jar like it owes you money, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next episode where we talk about coins that look totally normal but could secretly buy you a yacht. Leave a comment below if you've ever found something valuable in your spare change, or if you've got a weird coin you're curious about. I love hearing your stories, and you never know, your comment might be featured in the next video. Hey there, treasure hunters, coin collectors, and folks who just found a random penny in their couch cushions and thought, hey, could this be worth a fortune? Today we're diving deep into the world of the 2016 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Yep, you heard that right, a coin you might have in your pocket right now could be worth as much as $1.8 million. That's a whole mansion, a Lamborghini, and still enough left over for a ridiculous amount of Taco Bell. So grab your coin jars, your magnifying glasses, and maybe a snack, because we're about to crack the case of one of the most surprising valuable modern coins out there. Oh, and stick around till the end, because I'm gonna share a personal story of how a penny almost made me cry. Like, actually. Alright, let's kick things off with a quick background lesson, but don't worry, this isn't history class. I'm not gonna quiz you later. So in 2016, the US Mint released billions, that's with a B, of Abraham Lincoln pennies. Nothing out of the ordinary, right? But here's where things get spicy. Most of these pennies were struck in either Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. Now, pennies from Denver have a little D mint mark on them. San Francisco ones are usually proof coins, and Philly coins, well, they usually don't have any mint mark at all. So you might be wondering, how does a no mint mark penny from 2016 become a millionaire? See, not all pennies are created equal. Every once in a while, a few slip through the cracks that are either struck on the wrong planchet, have major doubling errors, or feature something so rare that collectors lose their minds over it. The 2016 no mint mark Lincoln penny we're talking about today is one of those legendary error coins. This particular one was struck on a transitional planchet. That means it was made on the wrong kind of metal, something that should have been used for a different denomination or different year. Some experts believe this particular coin was struck on a leftover blank from a special strike batch and slipped out into circulation without anyone noticing until someone did, and now boom, it's worth a fortune. And the value on this bad boy recently hit $1.8 million at auction. That's not pocket change, that's life changing. First, grab your 2016 Lincoln Penny, flip it under a bright light. Does it weigh a little less than usual, around 2.5 grams instead of 2.5 to 3.11 grams? That's a good sign. Does it have a weird color tone, slightly different from a regular copper plated zinc coin, maybe a silvery shine, or maybe it looks off-center or is doubling on the date or letters? Now don't go quitting your job just yet. If you think you have something special, get it graded by a professional like PCGS or NGC. They're the real deal and they'll give you the official thumbs up or down. So I was at this flea market last summer, sweating bullets, digging through bins of old coins and buttons, and who knows what else. I spot this old tin box labeled Grandpa's junk. I open it and there's a bunch of random wheat Pennies modern coins, and guess what? A 2016 penny just chillin' there looking innocente. Almost tossed it aside, but something about it felt weird. It looked shiny or lighter. Took it home and weighed the penny up. It was light, sent it in for grading. My heart was pounding while I waited weeks for the result. Long story short, it wasn't the $1 million one, it was just worn out from years of being someone's lucky penny, because even if it wasn't worth millions, that one moment, that excitement made it worth it. The 2016 no mint mark Lincoln Penny might look like just another boring coin, but there's a chance, just a small tiny copper chance, that one of them could be the real deal, worth up to $1.8 million. That's why I always say check your change, check your jars, check under the couch. Your future mansion might be hiding under some old gum wrappers. And hey, even if you don't find one, you're learning, you're exploring, and honestly you're having fun. So if you enjoyed this video and you want to learn more about coins that are secretly worth big money, or if you just want to laugh at my flea market fails, then hit that subscribe button right now, smash that like, give the video a thumbs up if you're into treasure hunting with loose change, and drop a comment below if you've ever found a coin that made you do a double take.